Heidi, hi. Hello, everyone. I feel so blessed to have Ian with us. Trycker jag på den, va? Jag trycker fan på fel hela tiden. Är det jag trycker på?
Jag tänkte säga, nej, det där är släck. Det är höger, vänster, höger, vänster.
Det är min nagel som går åt hela tiden. Okay, everyone. Good afternoon or good morning or hope you have a lovely day or evening or morning, wherever you might be. I'm very pleased to have quite a few online and in the room as well. Not that many in the room. I had more this morning. That's excellent, though. My name is Maria. I think most of you know me. I would start the presentation, then I would leave to Åsa to go in to show the result of the Employee Survey 2018. So, hopefully I can make this. Yeah. What was the purpose of the survey? Is to serve as a tool in our continued development for the organisation with a focus on the workshop following the survey result. And I will also come back with later what will happen when you've seen the result, what we will do with the result, obviously. Today, Åsa is going to share the result with everyone, the SEI global result. All the centre directors have had this presentation, and all the centre directors have now their own results. And by tomorrow, we will start sending out the line managers report, and in addition, then also send out the workshop material. All the centres all over SEI have planned to have workshops. Here in Stockholm, there will be unit-wise, and in some centres, it's going to be a centre, depending on the size of the organisation, obviously. And then you suddenly sat down, and the baby... I think I have the next slide, so I just stay with you for a while. So you just talk to that one.
Stay with me.
Introduce yourself as well, Åsa.
My name is Åsa Grunden. I'm working at a company called Advent and Progress. We do a lot of things, working with change management, but this is one of them. Using employee surveys as a tool in improvement processes. That's me. What I just want to share some principles we use because our job is to guarantee your anonymity. That's why you brought us because it gives you the safety to be able to be open in the when doing the survey. So. No individual responses will be exposed. A minimum of 5 respondents. It has to be that to get a report. You can be in a group, you can be 7, but if only 4 has answered, you won't have a report. Okay? All questions on sensitive subjects. There are some questions. For example, equal treatment and mobbing, etc. They will only be presented on a total level, total SEI-wide level. And reports on some parameters as gender, age, how long you've been working within SEI, they will only be reported on an SEI-wide level. And on these centers who have more than 30 respondents, we have a bigger providing it's not 5 women and 25 men, you see what I mean, or vice versa. And there will be no cross-reference. One man in men in grey suits, in have glasses. There will be no such cross-references. Yeah, and last but not least, there have been some open questions where you could write whatever you wanted. They will be taken care of, and Maria will tell you later how you do that.
Yes, and in addition to this, otherwise I'm afraid we might forget it. We decided just yesterday, actually, that we will do one extra report that will not be a part of the survey report that you work with in the workshops. Because we have decided to see if there's a difference in gender when responding to the questions. So, and that must be then over 30 responses. So that will only be valid for Stockholm and the Asia Centre. and then in addition an SEI response. So we can see, is there any differences and in what way between men and women? So that will be developed and be presented before Christmas.
I think mobbing is a Swedish, maybe bullying.
Yeah, bullying. Yes, I just saw that. I don't think it was.
US Center.
Yeah, exactly.
Bullying.
Bullying,
Corrected.
yes.
Bullying.
We have so many.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm afraid you're going to see a couple of others maybe.
For clarifying for the people.
Thank you
Great.
very much. We have had so many presentations. We've been changing wordings all over the place. We haven't. I just saw that now as well. Thank you. First of all, to start with the respondents, the response rate, and that was really good this year. I think we had an ambition. Last year we had 82%. This year we were aiming for 90. We actually ended up at 91%, which is very good because that means that lots of people are engaged to give their feedback. And some centres actually have 100%, and that's absolutely brilliant. But 91% is very, very good. The background then to the survey. The questions that we have in the survey are specific for SEI. We have worked from the strategy, we've gone through the strategy. We did that back in 2016 as well. So went through all the questions and kind of saw what kind of question could we have in relation to our own strategy. Leadership, competence, the psychosocial factors. So those are the kind of the framework of the survey. And that ended up for us in the 6+2 key areas. So everyone responded to the first 6. But if you said, I am working in a project, you had these additional 2. Due to the fact that there was lots of discussion a couple of years back that people who did not work in projects thought it was a waste of time for them to spend time responding to that. So I think it's very important that you just, if you have said, I am working in projects, then you have those 2 additional areas. But otherwise, the first ones are equal to all. And we all have done some very minor changes compared to 2016. And that is obviously due to the fact so we can compare the figures. We have done some alterations or adjustments. We have done that together with our global employee representatives. And that is specifically when it comes to work-life balance, things like that. So we get some more data to work with. Okay.
Yeah.
Over and out. Let's see the SEI global result then. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to present you a lot of figures, a lot of data, and I hope you in Sweden can stay awake at this hour and that you are, that it'll be good for you too. So, reports, what you get. Remember you filled in a lot of pages, key areas with questions on a scale to 1 to 7. We get reports that are actually quite the same, but just with the result. It looks like it did when you filled it in. Okay, this is the extensive reports. These are a bit too much to work with because it's too much in a workshop. So we put it down in a funnel, in a funnel. And out came top 10 results, bottom 10 results. Positive development, the most positive development and the negative development versus 2016. Which means this is what we're going to work with, and they look like this. So more or less 4 of these is what the workshop's gonna, what you're going to work with in the workshops, and we're going to show the same thing here in the total SEI wide presentation. And out of this funnel came a couple of indexes too. So I'm going to show you a few. I made a summary. I went through the extensive report and made a summary for you. On a couple of pages. Generally, it is a small decrease when you look at the result compared with 2016. And that's throughout all key areas and throughout the big part of the questions.
Decrease in what?
Decrease in ratings. Sorry, it's not decreased number of questions, but it's
negative.
It's a small negative development on the ratings. That might be a better. There are variations in the ratings between centers and units that are quite big. And the upside, the most positive thing is that people are really proud to work at SEI, and that's a fundamental thing for a good workplace, to be honest. You can have problems with this and that, and they are easier to solve, but if you don't have the pride, that is so much more difficult to fix. So that is a really good thing to have. When I looked through the key area work, me and my work situation, it's fairly good. There are high rates on interesting and engaging work that you find your work. Likewise, you feel clear expectations and on your performance. You can relate to your contribution to the center result, and you find the expectations reasonable for your work. Good ambience. High competence within the organization, which means that many people say that I have high qualification and high competence for my job. And that will show also in the fact that you perceive that SEI has the ability to attract top quality researchers. Yeah, you believe in the SEI name and the reputation of a high level quality. Project leadership is increasing. It's generally a high score for project leadership and is getting better still. Working in project, in general, it seems to be working quite well. But if not considerable, so a spread between different centers. Me and my manager has, and if I compare to others, it is really a high score on SEI-wide ratings. It is high. And when I look at it, I can look at the distribution of answers. You know, a mean is just a mean, but you can look at the distribution, and the distribution says very much good ratings. I'll show you the scales and so on in a while. Yes. So. And those who are not as positive, these are high ratings, but they are decreasing. The rating is decreasing in relation to last time. So the open dialogue with line managers and perception of being treated with respect by the line manager, it's still high, but it is decreasing. So I just want to say, monitor it. Perception that we live by our beliefs of respect for human rights and for the environment is still on an acceptable level, but also I want to point out that it is decreasing. And also for being objective at all times in the provision of professional advice, judgment, or what does it say? Decision. Someone said in a comment in the survey that it is not possible to be objective at all times, and that might be, but it is a sentence from the strategy. So it is your directions for your. Yep. Here we come to those who are not as good as they should be, to be honest. Raising legitimate concerns, managing different opinions, behaviors, and culture, and treating colleagues with respect is a sign of decreasing openness. And these questions are related. The context for the questions was in the key area of questions, which was me and my colleagues. So it's not, it is me and my colleagues. It could be line managers or center managers or whoever, project managers, but the context is me and my colleagues. It can be, well, you'll see. Cooperation within the center and sense of community is decreasing, and the performance review and professional development is also not good. Not good. Ongoing dialogue about my performance. Line manager and project managers are low rated. They were even more low rated last time. So that has been improved. So that is on its way. But the level of the rating is low. Professional development opportunities are based on merit, experience, and qualification. It is low rated and decreasing. Possibility to get training, low rated, and requirements for the next step in my career is clear. We changed that question because before it was the phrasing was the next step in the career system, which is not very clear to not very many. So we changed it to my career. It's not comparable, but this one is better, so we took that decision. Yep. So let us look at the top 10 and the indexes. This is, I think I'll start by saying that, as you saw in the beginning, we have the questions and you rated them 1 to 7, okay? This is, by these answers, we've taken all the questions, put them together in a mean and indexed it to 100 index, and then we go, this is where we land. The interesting thing is the colors. You see red, and I'll get to the scale again, but you can just look at the red, the yellow, the green, and you are tangering the green. So comparison is 2016 it was 76, and 14 it was 75. So it's moving, but not moving that much. So it's a little bit in many places. This shows you that is the same, and this just shows you on the different key areas. If we just look at the needles, this has decreased a little bit. Work situation, colleagues a little bit, line manager a little bit, but still very high. Experience of SEI project has increased a bit. Me and our beliefs a little bit down. Me and SEI a little bit down. Me and working in projects is the same, and SEI competence a little bit. We can just look at the colors and see that they're all on yellow or green. So there is no big, what do you say? There's no need for, there's no catastrophe, but that's too harsh. Yeah, you see what I mean. This is what you responded to. And I just want to show you, if you responded 1, 2, or 3, which starts with strongly disagree, and 5, 6, 7 totally agree on that scale. So where should the 4 go? We say that this is very bad. 1 to 3 is very bad, honestly. The 4, our recommendation is that the 4 is not good enough for an organization like yours, who has a good reputation on the market and are ambitious. It's not good enough. So our recommendation is that from 5 and up is considered good, very good, or outstanding. Excellent. All right. So to be clear, 5 to 5.5, good. 5.5 to 6, very good. And above 6 is outstanding. Yeah. I wasn't really clear on that this morning, so now I want to be extra clear. And then I said that there has been a lot of change. It has been smaller changes in a lot of places. So what is small, what is a big change? 1.0, one step from 5, here we go. From 5 to 6 is a dramatic change. From 5 to 4 is a dramatic change. On half a step, 0.5 is also a substantial change, but 0.05 is on the margin. It's just, yeah. So we'll go through the negative development. We'll start there, since I just said that it has been developed a bit decreasing. And then we go to the positive development, the bottom 10 and the top 10. And that's about what we should do. So we manage different opinions, behaviors, and cultures in an open and constructive way. 494, it is quite bad. And then 494 is bad, 505 is good. It's a scale. It's a scale with good, bad is a bit too constrained. No? Yeah.
Is that across all centers?
This is all the figures I show you is SEI wide. Thank you for asking, because I should have said that. Everything I can show you. But then, as you said, there are reports for every level, as long as it's 5 respondents.
Maybe you should also add the statement is the statement in the survey, the number of the question. So question number 19 in the extensive survey relates to that issue. So you don't wonder what that is.
So every unit manager gets the extensive report with every question like that. I've used it, as you can see. And if we look at the top negative development and we wonder something, we can go into this and find the statement 19. And this is the difference. And the difference is what we, this slide is sorted out after the difference, the size of the difference. So the opinion, behavior, culture in an open and constructive way. We treat all colleagues with the same respect, both low ratings and quite high difference. We have a well-functioning cooperation within my center. Good. Still quite good, but monitor the trend. I have confidence in the global executive management team. Quite a decrease, but good. At my center, we have a work environment that enables employees to raise genuine and legitimate concerns internally. Quite low. 37. The dialogue between me and my line manager is characterized by trust and openness. 589. That's a good one. That's a very good one. A very good rating, but still to be monitored. I feel a sense of community with my colleagues. 540. Good. A bit decreased then. Opportunities for professional development and promotion are based upon merit, experience and qualification. Also a bad one and decreasing. We live by our beliefs of respect for the environment. 526, good, and we are successful in bridging science and policy. 525. The point with this slide is that these are the ones to monitor because they're going the wrong way, okay? And if you look at them a bit, this is openness, 9 and 19, and this is let's see here. This is the cooperation with colleagues in those. So 5 out of 10 has to do with openness and cooperation, which is a hint somewhat because they are decreasing, but they are also low. If you can see low, 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 which means bad, 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 and this is quite near the limit, and this is quite okay or good. So based on that, the management executive director and you has decided that there are a few mandatory questions which everyone should discuss, every unit, every center should discuss in the workshops, and that is, what can we do about the decreasing in openness? What is the problem to begin with, and what can we do about it? Those two, and working together with colleagues, treating colleagues same respect no matter role, position, sense of community, cooperation within center. I said before that, and I want to say it again, that this comes from me, the context of me and my colleagues, and so does this, but this comes from me and my work situation. I think it's important to have the context when you discuss it. You can read a lot into it, and the discussions are important because that's where we do it. What did you read into it, and what do we mean by it? Do we have a problem, and what can we do about it? Positive development. I have the impression that there's an ongoing dialogue about my performance between line managers and project managers. It is a good increase in the rating. It is still low. I said that in the beginning. This is really important for everyone's development and for the development discussion and with your line manager. So it's good that it's going this way. I give feedback to my line manager, 582, very good. I know how to benefit from competence of colleagues at other centers, 456. I am aware of SEI's most important clients, funders, projects, 523, and the dialogue between me and the project managers that I interact with are characterized by trust and openness, which is outstanding. Outstanding. I have the required competence to perform my work tasks in a professional way. Outstanding. Project managers follow up on the work and results in projects. Very good. Project managers that I interact with give me feedback on my contribution to the project, and I have sufficient opportunities to contribute to the development of the project, and I take active responsibility for developing my competence so that I can successfully perform my work duties. If you look at the red arrows at the left, it's just indicated that those three is about what I do. And we normally tend to rate what I do quite high. I'm not saying it's not true, but we tend to do that. So 618 on competence and 584 on taking responsibility. And another thing to just see, these black ones, they involve project managers, the 5, the 7, the 8, and the first one involves line managers also. But these are all 4 out of 10 concerns project managers and are increasing. So that's attendance too. Yep, I'll go on. Bottom results. This is the lowest rating of all. So it starts with the lowest and works its way up. The requirements for taking the next step in my career are clear to me. 428. Now it's not the reference to how much it has developed or not. Now the reference is, I wanted to point. The reference is here, importance. I don't know if you remember, but when you were asked to fill in the survey, you were asked to, among 10 statements, you were asked to prioritize 4 of them. Which one are the 4 most important? So in every key area, we know the ones that most people has said are the one of the 4 most important. But, so you have an indication there that 4 out of 10 has said that this is one of the most important questions. But they cannot, now we mixed them, we took them from the key areas, the 8 key areas, and we put them top and bottom. So they are mixed from different key areas. So we can't really compare them, but we can get a hint on which one, on if they were prioritized. Right? We have a well-functioning cooperation between centers, 433. The transfer of knowledge and information works well within projects involving employees, 440. I have the impression that there is an ongoing dialogue about performance. You've seen it before, 452. At SEI, it's clear who is to take decisions on what. I know how to benefit from competence of colleagues at other centers. At SEI, opportunities for professional development and promotion are based upon merit, experience and qualification. When needed to perform in my professional role, I can get external or internal training. I have confidence in my center director, and it's clear to me how my performance is evaluated by my line manager. You see the span, the 10 in the bottom goes from 428 to 478. So there are a few more below 5. But I can tell you I've seen some of it at 3, starting at 3, starting even at 2 point something. So it's no, you have to work on, but it's not a catastrophe at all. Looking at these then, these 3 point out the cooperation in different ways between centers. It is difficult, in my experience, to work between departments, units, whatever, even if they're in-house, all at the same place. It is even more difficult to do it remotely. So a low rating on cooperation between centers is not unusual, which doesn't mean you would want to work on it, but it's not unusual. The others is about clarity. It's not very clear how to take the next step in my career, or who takes decisions on what, which is quite important, or opportunities for professional development, or how my performance is evaluated. So that's something that we send to management, I believe. Yep, top results, total. I'm proud to work at SEI, and as I said in the beginning, pride is important, and this is an outstanding rating. 628 is very high. I have the required competence to perform my work tasks in a professional way. I have 618. My line manager treats me and my colleagues with respect, 617. I've taken an active responsibility in the number of my chargeable hours. My line manager has confidence in me. I give feedback, positive feedback. My line manager shows me interest in my well-being. And this is not the dialogue between my manager, my line manager, and my project manager, but it's the dialogue between me and the project managers that I work with, which is high. My work is interesting and engaging, and my line manager supports me when needed. So the 10 most rated, highest rated is 628 down to just below 6. That is really good. Yeah? So, the 3 here. It's some I questions again. I give feedback, I take an active responsibility of chargeable hours, and I have required competence to perform my work tasks. It all starts with me, so it's a good thing that I take responsibility for this and that. So it's very good that it's high. And these are about my line manager. This is about management, and this one, the blue one, is management in terms of project management. But 5 of 10 top results is about management on the line manager, 4 of them on the line manager level, and the 5th then project managers. Dialogue. Yeah? So, ENPS is a one index question. All the rest is tailor-made for you. All the rest is taken from the strategy document, from the management policy, from the, whatever you have to guide your business. To see that from the tailored questions, you can have discussions and improve what is relevant for you. That's why the questions has to be the right questions. We put this in because this is the question that you can compare with other companies, organizations. This is actually the only one. It is measuring 2 ways loyalty. It's an international measurement where the research has come to the conclusion that it is one question that can guide and give you an index, and that is if it's likely that you recommend the organization SEI as a workplace to a friend. It's kind of a loyalty thing. So, sorry?
Emotional.
Yeah, and it's emotional. Actually, several of the questions are not facts. How do you perceive, etc. It's an important information on the status, how people feel, think, and perceive their situation. Yeah, so this one, which is, as you said, emotional, it identifies, you ask from this question, if you answer 0 to 6, which is quite severe, you are a detractor, which is opposite to the promoter, the ambassadors over here. So that is actually the opposite to ambassadors. If to be a promoter, you filled in 9 and 10. There are a couple of 7 and 8 that is regarded as passives, and in this international index, they concluded that the passives they don't count. They count them out here. So the index is -100 to 100. If you only have detractors, old red, it's -100. If you only have the green ones, promoters, it's +100. And to get it, you just take the promoters minus the detractors. And 20 is considered satisfying or good in that area. Okay? So you are there. You have 22. It is a good index score. Okay? But it was better last year. It was 43.3, and this is how many respondents you have. So you are quite a few more, but 25% more, isn't it? Yeah, somewhere around that.
So I don't understand this figure. 22% or
43% of 200 people said 9, 10. Okay? Said, how likely is it that you would recommend?
But where is the score?
The score is over here. It says 22.
Out of what?
out of -100 to +100. If you have 100% red, it is a score of -100, and 100% green, it's a score of 100. So what you do is that you take the 43 minus the subtract the 21, and you are at 22. And as I said, 22 is a good index, it's a good score, but you have done quite a decrease in the score. And it needs to be said that it is very different between centers. So some have increased a bit, some have decreased a lot, some have decreased a bit. It's all possible alternatives. Just to compare, 2014 the score was the same, more or less, as 16. Yeah. We asked the 43% there. We asked the 43%, which is 88 people. We asked them, the promoters, why would you recommend? Why is it likely? And they said, cooperation with colleagues, work environment, SE values, and personal development. This is number of people. Because it's percent of percent, so therefore I put number of people. Detractors, we asked the same thing almost. It's what needs to be improved for you to recommend SEI. Leadership recognition, appreciation, salary compensation, working environment, career possibilities. As you see, this is around 20 people, 20, 30 people. Okay? That's just to know what is the reason. And if we look at it, cooperation with colleagues, we already had that on top 10, bottom 10. Working environment, yeah, depends on what you put into it. SEI values, personal development. Leadership recognition, leadership we talked about. Salary and compensation is not in the key area questions. Well, etc. So, we also specifically asked about management. In one question I have confidence in. Line manager 584. Global executive management team and is 543. Center management is 511. And those within the parentheses is last time, 2016. I want to point out that all of a sudden they're blue. If it would be stringent, no? They would have been yellow. But on the other hand, if they would have been yellow, you wouldn't have seen them. So, it's blue. But that's no other meaning. Yeah, and Center Director 477 and Executive Director 565. No comparison because they are new questions for this year. Center Director, Center Management Team, again, comparing centers, it is a big variation. All right. We did also, we did actually last time ask if you could leave work at work. We had some other phrasing and what we have now, and it was actually a bad question, so we took it away. It was not bad answers, but the question could be interpreted in so many ways. So we took it away and we replaced it with a better one on the same purpose. Outside of work, are you generally able to set work aside and focus on your personal life? Yes, I can, 67%, and 33 says no. And that's a third of 204 people. So, since this is new for this year, since we changed it, the blue, which represents 2016, doesn't exist.
Can I just add also though, the reason
Absolutely.
we changed the question, and we did this in close dialogue with the global employee representative, that it's not good enough to know whether it's a yes or a no. We would like to know what's the reason behind the yes and the no. So that's the reason why. So it's an additional question coming after that. So that's because otherwise last year we just had the yes and the no question.
And so we asked why. Which of the following have significantly contributed towards your experience of no, I can't leave work at work. And we have expectations set by colleagues, by my line manager, by project managers, quite low compared to my personal expectations or ambitions, which I believe is kind of tough because then it's all in your inside you, and that needs change of behavior if it's stressful. It doesn't have to be stressful, but if it's stressful, it's an I don't find the word in Swedish either. Effort. It's an effort there. Perceived lack of job security. Can I keep my job or not? I do believe that is. And unreasonable workload is 50%, 53, which is something to discuss. If you're one of the 53, it's something to discuss with your manager, project manager, line manager. I don't know who you want to discuss this with. Other, we didn't ask further, so other was just a way of saying no, not that. Finally, we asked about fair treatment in regards to opportunity. Opportunities for professional development and promotion are based upon merit, experience, qualification. We talked about that a couple of times, but it's bad. When opportunities arise that are relevant to an individual's expertise and experience, SEI treats people fairly, irrespective of age, gender, culture, background, experiences, sexual preferences, religion, etc. This is tied to the possibility to take opportunities. I think it's important to say because it's not well, it comes to me soon. Discrimination. It's not discrimination in the sense of the law, because it's tied to opportunity. I'm not trying to say that it's good. Absolutely not. But you have to differ the different things. This is what do we think about SEI? What is your perception of what happens within SEI? Next question was, have you experienced have you felt unreasonably excluded from opportunities relevant to your expertise? And 78% has not. Unreasonably excluded from opportunities. which leaves 22%. Not very acceptable. Yeah. So, I leave it to you now.
Okay, before we get started with it, do anyone have any questions for Åsa when it comes to the total result? Otherwise, I will step in to talk what's going to happen now. Do you have any questions online, Ian? Seem to be one, maybe?
Just one that asks how we can see the results for each center treated separately.
Come again? How can we?
How could we see the results for each center?
Well, the result of each center will be sent to the center. So we're not going to share the center result like this is Africa, this is Stockholm. So we're just going to show the SEI global result. But obviously, for every center, you will see the result. For Stockholm Center, for Asia, you're going to see the Asia Center, of course.
We never do that. Every center, every department, every bit of an organization has its own. It's too late. Förutsättningar.
Prerequisites.
Prereqs. So they might not be comparable. It's too easy to sit and look at it and say, well, we're better than them, or they're better than us. That's not the whole truth. That's why we don't put them up, because you have to see the context. And so we will not expose the differences.
However, that will of course be addressed in all the workshops for every center.
But there will be a presentation in Stockholm for the Stockholm Center.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah, it's going to be.
centers
Absolutely.
on their center results.
Yeah,
I think
so-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that is the question.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Sorry
Sorry.
for not being clear. So in all the workshops, in every center, you're going to see your own result, obviously.
And on a unit level.
And on unit, if you have that kind of numbers.
More than 5. Or 5 or more. Sorry.
Okay, then in addition to the scores that also has been presented, there was also some open questions. And just to make sure that you don't sense that they're just in there and no one looked at them again. The question in the survey, would you like to share your experience regarding your feelings and being excluded from opportunities? Those will be forwarded to me, and to me only. When it comes to a question, for what reason do you consider SEI not being successful? We'll go to JK1 in the York Center. In what way can we further improve the communication? But obviously forward to Rob. And how can SEI's approach to monitor, evaluation, learning be strengthened? That will be distributed to Linda Bell, who has that global responsibility. And in addition, the additional comments, if by the end of the survey, do you have anything else that you would like to share? That open question will also be sent to me. And I will look into those, obviously. Okay, so just put this survey aside for a little bit and then focus on what's going to happen now then. As I said to start with, all the centers have now planned to have workshops, and it's mandatory to have a workshop actually, goes without say. And for example, if you're in a small center, like the new Latin America Center, they will work with the SEI global result because they will not get their own result because there are too few. But the purpose, of course, is to discuss and find specific improvements. And the focus in the workshop should obviously be, what can we do together in our team to enhance or work with? What do we have any good suggestions? What can we do together? And hopefully that will then end up in some kind of list that I will get. And then we can share good examples with each other. The focus here is obviously to focus on what we can do in our team. Just like Åsa said before, it's very easy to sit in a group and say, I think HR should do this, or finance should do this, and I think that unit over there should do this better and more. That's always something you can discuss, but then we will just gather that information and put it aside and forward it to make sure that it comes to the right recipient. But I would like you to focus on, what can we do together in this team And with all the teams, also in the management team, obviously, there's going to be a discussion about this as well. But I think otherwise we might spend 2 hours discussing what others should do differently. So maybe we should start with ourselves. What can I do to add value? What can I do to change together with others?
It's such a power to take care of all this engagement that you have for improvements. It's so much power, so much more power than just shifting it to someone else.
So the workshop set up, and obviously you don't have to remind yourself, and you don't have to remember this when you're leaving this room. This will be handed in the workshops, obviously. But then you're going to do the analysis of the center unit result. That's for the manager to do so, go through their own extensive report, and just like also did in the beginning, this is what have increased or had decreased. But then in addition, you will also work with the top and the bottom ones. Those are the ones you should focus on primarily anyway. Then you discuss and agree what 5 issues would you like to improve within my center, with my unit or whatever. And then discuss and address the mandatory key issue that also I talked about before as well. So even though you might be in a center or a unit that don't have that challenge with that mandatory question, we would like all to look into the extensive report, say, do we or do we not have? If you can see that you don't have a challenge with this, then just tick in the box that you looked at it. But we want everyone to look into it anyway. To define actions, making sure that the action plan will be part of the center work plan, obviously. Then by the 16th of November, then nearly all workshops shall be done. I will do one in Africa the week after, but all others, except for the African one, but I'm going to do, it's going to be done by the 16th of November. And I know that the US will start already this week, and then it's ongoing. All the dates are set in all the centers. And then I will present the result, the SEI global result for the board next week. And then I will go back to the board in December and say, okay, this is what we have discussed in the workshops, and just a compiler report, what will we focus on? So as I said, look into the top and bottom 10 and the development, and those will be provided by us for each center or unit, or as long as we have response, we will make sure that you get that. To discuss the key issues, identify, prioritize, and make an action plan, obviously. And these are the same slide that also showed before. These are the mandatory questions that all centers and units need to address, or at least go through, say, we might not have a problem in this unit with this question, then it's a tick in the box. But everyone needs to look into it. The issue, I mean, it's not rocket science. I think the most important thing is the dialogue, obviously, the discussion. And it's going to be what you want to discuss, and also to write down who's going to be responsible, and how should the follow-up frequency be. And again, there might be things that you want to kind of make sure that I get updated about, something that HR should do or not do. Then you just post it and just send it with me. So I got everything. I get everything. So this is the template that's going to end up for all the workshops, a summary of the workshops. So I can then make a summary for the board. Also, another question we had in the survey, did you or did you not do a follow-up to the previous survey, which is, I think, is very important. I mean, we do invest a lot of time asking you to stay late or early, wherever you might be, to participate in the result and to do the survey. It's important for us to make sure we actually do something about it as well. So 60% said that they conducted a workshop last time, and that was in 2016. And my ambition is not that we should go lower than that. I would like everyone to go higher, obviously. And then that produced an action plan, which is quite interesting, I think, because all centers send me their action plans. So every center send them in. There might be people that maybe wasn't part of the organization or did not participate on that specific meeting. That could be the case, obviously. And whether you followed up, whether you have completed, we did nothing, or I was not part of SEI. This could actually also be that is something that is ongoing in a unit or in a center. So they might not be finalized, like saying like we will do feedback and then it's not finalized by a specific date, it's going to be an ongoing thing, obviously. The trick is to keep it going. And then the follow-up again. We have had the presentation GMC this week. And all the centers now are working with the results. And as I said, the line manager, the center direct got the results yesterday, their reports. The line manager will get it tomorrow. I will present the SEI Global result on the board meeting next week. And then in the 5th of December, I will do the update on the workshops. So then I will see what kind of actions have you all suggested in your work plans? And could we see a trend there? Is there something we can support you with? And then in addition, just like we did last year, in the spring 2019, I'll do a follow-up again with all the center directors, say, have you or have you not continued to do the work? Okay, so that material will be sent out, and you're going to have discussions in your units or in your centers, depending on the size, obviously. Do we have any questions in the room? Okay. Do we have any questions online?
Just one.
Okay.
Can we see the range on the percentages? For example, the level of discrimination. And I've asked this person if by range they mean the standard deviation.
Yeah.
So the spread.
Yeah. We have
it.
Yeah.
But I don't think we have it in this presentation.
No, we don't have it in this presentation. Also, that someone to come back to me, and I can have a chat with that someone. I can share it with them. Any other questions? So please come back to me if you have any further questions, of course. All right. Have a good day, or good evening, or good night, good morning, or whatever it might be. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Finally!
The best audience ever.